Sunday, August 14th. What's up, guys? I normally don't do videos on the weekend, but I just went for a walk. I've spent most of the morning outside, and I was listening to this exact episode of the Tim Ferriss podcast with Tony Robbins. It's hard to see because I've got lots of windows in my apartment. But it's called Achievement versus Fulfillment, and it's episode 178, and you've got to hear it. You gotta, right after this video, your directive is to go to the 4-Hour Workweek podcast, listen to the episode with Tony Robbins, whatever the number was I just said, 178, and check it out. The topic is amazing. I mean, they go over a lot of things, and it's funny because Tim chose, the title is this, on achievement versus what? Fulfillment. On achievement versus fulfillment. So out of the entire 40, hour and a half long conversation, that's what he chose as the title and to me it makes sense because it's the most important part. The beginning is your standard stuff. They go over what Tony does. They talk about how many millions of people he's helped. And I'm a huge fan of both guys. Tim Ferriss, obviously, 4-Hour Workweek. Took me a long time to come around to Tim, though, because so many people that I know were really into Tim Ferriss, and when people get really into someone, I just tune them out. I lose interest. And I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. Same story. We all know Tony Robbins' name. The problem is, like, 80% of people think he's a con artist or a success coach or some sort of fake life coach that goes around scamming people for millions of dollars. And that's not what he is at all. In fact, he's on a tour. I think there's a documentary out right now that's called Tony Robbins, I Am Not Your Guru. Like, I'm not your guru. And it's funny because he breaks the myth that he's a success guru or whatever. Those guys are a dime a dozen. What Tony does is unbelievable and powerful. And it took me many years to start to like him. I had to download one of his audio courses and go through it before I actually realized what in the hell he was all about. They're talking about achievement versus fulfillment. And this is the part that blew my mind. It's about midway through they get to this. They talk about investing, childhood, they go over some cool stuff, but at about the 40-minute mark, I guess it is, 30-minute mark maybe, they start talking about achievement versus fulfillment. And I'll try to give you my crappy summary, but I encourage you to go and listen to the entire podcast because it's amazing. I'm not even done with it. I had to turn it off, jump on YouTube, and tell you about it because I've seen this in my life so many times. Everyone thinks that the key to happiness is achievement, right? If you want to be happy, you need to achieve these things, put your life into some sort of a certain way by achieving these things, right? Wrong. That's 100% wrong, and I can tell you from experience. And the example that he gave was very true. He talks about Robin Williams and how Robin Williams, who achieved every goal he set out in life to accomplish, from becoming a stand-up to having a /1 hit show, to making millions of dollars, to making movies, to winning awards. He accomplished everything along the way, made $50, $100, $200 million, beautiful family, beautiful homes all over the world, hundreds of millions of fans, and he hung himself in his house because he was miserable. So and this is very common. People that achieve all these things, they're not necessarily happy. And in my experience, this is very true because in my life, I set some goals that I wanted to achieve over the last 10 years, and I achieved them. Some were financial goals, and I achieved them. Some were like health goals, and I achieved them. Some were, different kinds of goals, and I achieved them. But what happens is when you achieve a goal, it does make you happy for about 6 minutes. And then you recalibrate your goal machine, and now you want something more. Now, this can be fine in some certain circumstances. Like, I'm a musician. If I set a goal to play at a club in Hollywood, and I did that, and then I set a new goal to play at a bigger club, then I wanted to play the Palladium, and then I wanted to play the Forum. That's how you go up the ladder. That type of resetting your goals is fantastic. But in some cases, it's different, like financially. Like, let's say everyone that's watching this video has a goal of making $1 million. They want to make $1 million, right? Well, here's what happens when you make $1 million. You get to the end of the thing, you go, wow, you look at your bank account, you go, I made $1 million. that's so amazing. And you raise your fists in the air. I did it. I'm a millionaire, right? Then one day later, you're like, okay, 10 million. I think I can do 10 million. It needs to be 10 million. And then you start fighting towards 10 million. So achievement in and of itself is worthless, because at the end of the day, you achieve the goal, it's over. Now what are you gonna do? You have to do something else in order to feel good again. But what he says is, what is it? Achievement versus fulfillment. Fulfillment's an entirely different thing. And you don't have to be a millionaire to feel fulfilled. Getting to a feeling of fulfillment is actually more important than making millions of dollars in some sort of weird race to think you're going to become happy. I mean, look at all the lottery winners who won $100 million and either went broke, lost all the money, or killed themselves, or ended up dead. Like, it's really weird. How many millionaires, how many billionaires have committed suicide or overdosed on drugs? How many children of multi-billionaires who had huge inheritances coming overdosed on drugs before they got it? All that kind of stuff it's very strange. But they talk about it in this podcast episode, and I'm butchering it here. You've got to hear Tony talk about it himself. Obviously, he's way better at this than I am. So I encourage you. It's number 178, Tony Robbins, on achievement versus fulfillment. The best stuff that I'm talking about happens maybe 20 or 30 minutes into it, but you should just listen to the whole thing. If you're in a rush, put it on 1.5x or 2x speed, and you'll be good to go. But I think it's a crazy, amazing message. I think everyone watching this video can benefit from it. And here's what we'll do. If you listen to the episode, check it out, come back, post in the comments and let me know what you think. Or if you don't feel like listening to the episode, just tell me what you think about this subject. If you've had this experience, let me know. Like, I've had it. I hit a financial goal and was immediately unhappy with that goal the next day. The next day, I 10x'd the goal, and now I had to hit that goal. Then when I hit that one, I 10x'd it again, and it just became ludicrous. There was no stopping. There was no happiness. There was no fulfillment. It was merely just achieving goals and setting new goals. And I can tell you from my experience, man, accomplishing goals doesn't make you feel better for long. It'll make you feel better for about 5 minutes, but it won't make you feel better for long. So give the episode a shot. Go check it out. It's the Tim Ferriss Show, episode 178 with Tony Robbins. Come back. Let me know what you think, and let's talk about it in the comments. I hope everyone's having a great day. Thumbs up, and I will see you in the future.